All right. We're going to do a podcast right now, and this will be up on Spotify, Apple, all those places. And let's talk today about a certain topic that I hold dear to my heart. Let me make sure I'm recording audio here. Not yet. So, this will be a topic as I clean up my audio recording. This will be a topic that I've had to go back and forth, uh, uh, vacillate a lot about. There have been so many times when I've had to figure this out and get it things done, and I recommend it for my clients now. What I'm going to suggest. So let me go ahead and kick off my audio. And all right, so now let's do this. And for those of you watching on YouTube, I appreciate you watching as I may have a couple stops here. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're just listening to the podcast here, welcome back again. If you would, send me an email at info@techlead.com, info@tekleed.com, and I will reply. Just ask me any questions you want. I'm here to help. And you can find me on Facebook, of course. You can find me here on YouTube. Uh, and of course, on the podcast. So email is preferred just because everything goes to email. Everybody can go there. All right, today's topic, getting more done, worrying about today and not about tomorrow. Let's be frank. There's so much talk, and I'm a Christian, and I am ascribed to the passage where Jesus talks about not worrying about what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear. Um, Jesus says that he cares about every single living thing, basically. Jesus cares about the sparrow. He knows when the sparrow is going to die. He knows when a sparrow falls out of the sky. And so, how much more, if he cares that much about sparrows and he knows when they're going to fall out of the sky, how much more does he care about us? We're people. We are made in God's image. And that's the logic to just sort of demonstrate just a little bit of God's love for us. And so I ascribe to the belief that worrying is not good. In fact, Scripture also says that instead of worrying, we should give thanks in everything. Don't be anxious for anything, but give thanks. So I believe we should not worry. But that often translates to many Christians. And if you're not a Christian, maybe to you as well, and you hear that, don't worry, be thankful. And everything give thanks to God. Of that's the will of God for you in Christ. So regardless of if you believe in Jesus or not, your your ability to get things done often relies either on if you're worrying about it or if you are just in a habit of doing it. So when we worry about things, what happens is we get things done, but we're not satisfied with what we get done. Okay. And um, it looks often like an obsession in a person. I'm reading a book that's called 10X, and you've probably heard of it. But the author, Grant Cardone, talks about being completely obsessed about something, and that's how you get things done. And I would be a little bit wary of just being obsessed and uh, and just completely being overwhelmed, dominated by success, because I don't think that's a healthy way to live now, and I think it may destroy your relationships at times. However, let me just say this. I do think that we should not worry about tomorrow. And I'll try to give some examples of how this plays out. So don't worry. I don't think we should worry about tomorrow, but I do think that when we wake up in the morning, we should worry about today. there's something different about worrying about tomorrow versus today. Tomorrow means the future, complete future. And yes, 6 p.m. tonight compared to 8 a.m. in the morning, 6 p.m. is the future. But we've been given a day and we don't know what's going to happen today. But within the time that we're given, this day that we're given, we have the ability to plan things out and put our tasks ahead of us and get them done and say, if I don't get these things done, I'm in trouble. And that's the type of worry about today that we should have. And I think that's very profitable. But here's the way you're going to handle worry about tomorrow. And that is to simply plan and put things down on paper, put them down in your calendar and your schedule. And that's how you're going to get things done tomorrow. It's not through worry. So I will tell you that I have met people, and it's been me before as well, who are worriers about the future. And they say, I don't worry about the future. And then I ask them, or in parts of my own life, times of my own life, I'll look at myself and say, well, prove it. How do I prove that I'm not worried about tomorrow? And when I ask people or look at my own life, the times I'm actually worried, if I dig down deep enough, it reveals itself in the fact that I don't have anything written down or planned. So planning is the cure. Plans can change. You can plan to go study on Friday night at Starbucks for your Coursera certificate. You can plan on Saturday attending the training here at Tech Career Accelerator. You can plan on those things, and things might come overwhelm you and change those plans. That's okay, I guess, in some cases. But once you put down things on a schedule and say, I'm planning on doing these things, the worry seems to go away. What is worry? Worry is, and I'm not a psychologist, but I think that worry is trying to take care of yourself in the future without doing things today. Trying to take care of your future without doing anything about it today. That's worry. And the more you worry, the less you do today. Because I'm 50. I don't know how many years or days I have left in my life. And if I think about that, that puts me into a frenzy of worry to the point where I might just do nothing today. If I were to know I have 20 years left, if I were to know I have 5 years left, well, I can reverse engineer those years and try to plan enough to get them done if I'm not completely overwhelmed by the fact that I know when I'm going to die. So a lot of people rely on dates in the future to help them reverse engineer their today and their present. And that is a huge hack. Let me tell you, if you have ever been to a boot camp, it's probably a timed boot camp where there's chronology involved, and you've got 6 months, you've got 2 months, and there's a deadline to it. If you've ever been a part of a course that's more of a live course and you have to attend certain sessions, there might be a deadline to it. And that's so that it's just because people have trouble planning things. That's the only reason. When I help people in my course and in my strategic advisor program, I have an end date to it. I don't often cap the end date. I still help people afterward, but there has to be some sort of end date, or else what is this, a lifetime commitment that I have? There has to be some sort of pressure that says, if you don't do these things by a certain date, you won't progress, you won't get things done. So I would suggest to stop worrying. First of all, you need to realize you're created for a purpose, that you as a human being interpreting these words, listening through the technology you're given that was created by other human beings, you're in a state, you're in a position to make judgments and make plans, and you're the only species on the planet Earth that can make plans conscientiously. And if you are among that species, you should take advantage of that. And if you can't do that, and you can't put yourself up to plan and put on a calendar when you're going to get such and such done, then I would suggest that you have a lot of growing up to do. And if that sounds harsh, I hope that it doesn't. I hope that you see that as a learning point, that you came to this podcast or this video to accomplish something more. And I would say if you can't plan or you haven't been planning, it's time to grow up and put things down on a calendar. I went out to coffee with someone that I respected in the business space in Iowa. And he sat down and he said, "Brooks, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I was in my late 30s, I believe. And I was offended by that. And I I took it personally because I'd been doing a lot of things. However, I think what his intention was to help me reverse engineer what I want to do next in my life, because I went to him for business advice. And so that was when I was just getting into tech, and probably was without a job for a few months at that time, probably was after the 2008 global meltdown. And I worked for a financial website company that made bank websites, community bank websites. And so the banks didn't really want to spend money on more websites. Surprise, surprise, when the global banking market tanked. But anyway, will you grow up? Will you look at yourself in the mirror, say, what do I want to do in 6 months? Reverse engineer, put it down on a calendar, say, I want to hit that. And then you'll just stare at yourself and say, well, in order to get there, what do I have to do? Well, I have to do X, Y, and Z, and then put those on the calendar. And then hopefully you can get down to daily tasks, and then you can start worrying about today. See, a lot of people don't think that they should worry at all. And they don't think that, like in Grant Cardone's book, which is overall a pretty good book. Don't highly recommend it, but I do recommend it probably. Most people just don't have a drive within them to get anything done. And that's because they don't worry about today and they're not concerned about the future. If you don't do anything today, you should be concerned about the future. And if you're not concerned about the future, then you probably have it really easy in your life right now. And you don't need to make any changes. So I did. I had a wife and 3 kids at the time, 4 kids maybe. I think our 4th was just born, about to be born, when I switched into a technology career. And I was given the opportunity to work for that company that I just mentioned. And so I was the primary breadwinner, and I was the only breadwinner. And so that was my situation where I wanted to go and provide. And in order to do that, I had to be concerned about today and tomorrow. And so I would, if I were you, to take care of things in the future, make sure that you can plan, make sure that you can put things on a calendar. And the most important calendars today, and if you don't know what to put on your calendar for today as a task list, what will you get done today? That means you probably haven't planned out your future very well. And if you're stuck with that, well, there's so many different things you could do. Might be good to reach out to someone and get some help. If you want to talk to me, you can email me at info@tekleed.com. And you can ask me questions and I will help as much as I can. And listen to some other episodes and, decide what you're going to do. The biggest advice I have for you, if you don't know what to do in the future, is to make sure that you just do something. And once you start drilling down into a specific skill or a specific area of expertise, you may decide if you like it or not. And if you don't like it, change. If you like it, keep going. See where it takes you. And then keep trying to expand the scope of the people that you're serving. And if you can do that, if you can give value to many people that you're serving, then what's going to happen is you're going to start to get clients, whether they're pro bono or they're professional, you charge money or not, and that's going to help you. All right. Well, that is the podcast, and thank you for listening today. I appreciate you. And if you want more help, you can reach out at info@techlead.com, TEKLEED.com. Please, if you're watching this, don't forget to subscribe. If you've made it this far, definitely subscribe, because if you're listening this long, chances are there's something that I said that you must be really interested in switching to tech if you've made it this far. Let's just put it that way. Thank you for watching. Please like this, and it helps more people discover me. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.